Sure.
Uh, so today we are going to look how to use Informatica transformation, which is lookup. So there are different options or configurations with lookup. One is connected lookup, unconnected lookup, lookup as an active transformation, as in where lookup can return multiple rows. Those all scenarios we can experiment. So first of all, we have two transformations, lookup and joiner. What is the difference between both of them? So lookup is used when uh, when we have data. So as in when we are using lookup or joiner, in both the places, Informatica would generate cache. However, if you are using lookup, the cache would get generated before even the execution of the data flow. As in when the session itself is initializing or in the initialization phase itself, the lookup cache would get populated. So again, so in case of joiner, the cache would be built during runtime. So the difference is when we are going to use lookup and when we are going to use joineries, it depends on our requirement. So as in certain cases, we might want data from both the things, as in it is as good as full outer join. Or lookup, basically what happens with lookup is if it finds an entry, it can return. Or we have active transformation also, but then so there are certain situations where we go for lookup, wherein so in case of lookup, since it is the cache is built during the initialization phase, obviously it will be faster in terms of execution. However, joiner is better when we have huge volume in terms of millions of data. So because we are going to cache millions of data, it is going to take some time. So it is good to use join in that case. So preferably, if they are present in same database, it is even good to use SQL override, which means to join the tables at the database level itself, because anything at database level is bit faster. Because if we are doing the same join in Informatica, before joiner we would need to use sorter, all those stuff, which would make it more complicated, or performance orientedly the performance would deteriorate. So there are few places which we would be seeing in the upcoming sessions, how to when we are seeing about how to handle Informatica mappings with better performance. So today we are going to discuss more on lookup. So we'll create a mapping and we'll see where exactly and how to configure different features with lookup. So I'll create a mapping. So what I have created a mapping customers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, we were actually basically updating in the previous session. So we had data in HR.employee table. We were populating employee table in the test user. So what I would rather do is in this scenario, consider your HR.employee is different. Employees is different from employee in terms of structure. So now what happens is, let me try to query on employee table in test. I have got some data. We have got some data in this case. So what I am going to do is, department ID. Perfect. What I'm going to do is I will update the department ID in employee table to null. Update employee set. So what we are going to do here is using the HR.employees table, we are going to populate the department ID in employee table. So our source will be employee table. Our source would be employee table. Oh, this is not. In our case, the source and target is same, employees only. So department ID rather than populating from the source, what I would rather prefer to do is we are going to use lookup. So this is one way, clicking on this, so something like a magnifying glass. So here we can choose what is our lookup table. We don't have the, okay, we do have the employees table in the source. I'll use employee. So this is something which we would know later when lookup. What is lookup? When we mean lookup as an active transformation, this is what property which differs a lookup from being a static and dynamic or active and passive. So for now, we will not bother about, we will see about only passive lookup, as in the difference between passive and active is passive means when we have same number of rows going into the transformation and we are retrieving the same number of columns. So then we are as in same number of rows going into a transformation and the rows coming out of transformation are same, then it is called an passive transformation. If there is any increase or decrease, then it is called a active transformation. So in this case, since we are only interested in manager ID, I am trying to delete the other columns. So this is very important thing, because we don't, if we are not using any column, it is better to remove that so that lookup cache will not be built specific to that column. So since I have retained only two columns, so employee ID one is my input column, so it will never be cached. So these are the two columns from the lookup table. So how to understand whether it is input or whether it is a lookup? So wherever this is checked, so which means it is coming from the lookup reference. So if we are having all the columns, the lookup cache would be built for all the columns. So the better way is, if we are not using any column, better to remove that so that cache would not be built for that. So that is memory optimization sort of a thing. Better utilization of memory. So yeah, pretty much simple. So here a few more things to discuss. So if we have any filter like current indicator or okay, if there are any mark for deletion, if you want to exclude, or any exclusions if you want to do, that can be done manually, as in we can specify our filter condition here. So as in if we don't want the filter to be applied for any specific rows or as such. So in this case, we will see this in some time. First, let me explain only this part. So condition here we will specify what is my input column as an corresponding to my employee ID. We need the department ID from HR.employees. So I'm going to say for every incoming employee ID, one is nothing but since we are having same name, it was giving us one for input. So for every record in employee ID one, I want to retrieve the corresponding department ID. So based on the value in employee ID one, check in the lookup cache. If there is any match, retrieve me data. Okay. So then we are going to map the field to the corresponding field in the target. Perfect. Now it is saved. Let me create one workflow. So I'm creating a session which should be making use of lookup transformation. Our source is from test user schema, test schema. So in source, I am making use of test. No other things. Target is again test schema. Since it is same user, we need not prefix it. However, target is not from same schema. So I'll choose in Oracle PWC. However, my table name is HR.employees. So we are going to specify in the lookup table, instead of employees, we are going to specify HR.employees. And another important thing, we are by default, this will be insert. In our previous session, we have seen how to make use of this property, how it helps us in changing the target rows, whether it is insert, update, observe, delete. So right now we are interested in only updating the department ID. So I am switching it to update. This is one property which is important. And at the target level, we should have this update as update checkbox checked. It doesn't matter if we have insert and delete checkbox checked, because we are neither inserting nor deleting any data. We are interested in only updating the department IDs. In the test employee schema based on the department IDs from the HR.employees. So we are now going to execute the workflow. Now once it failed, we'll see table or view does not exist. Okay, I understood the reason. It is not employees, it is employee. This is one good example. When your definition is not same as your table name, we can override the table name. So I am using employees definition. However, I want to read the data from employee table. So this is how we can override. Basically, the definition, if we try to click on source definition, it is employees. However, we want to read from employee. So this is how we can override the table name. Perfect. It is able to read. So we will see the cache part, what I was discussing. We see here, it was doing the cache in the beginning. And if we see here, it was trying to retrieve the data only for department ID and employee ID in HR.employees, and sorting by employee ID because employee ID is used in the join condition. So this is how we are kind of restricting or limiting the cache size. So we are going to see the size also, how much it consumed. So index, it consumed this much. and data cache. So there are two types of cache. One is index cache and another is data cache. Index cache is the columns whichever are used in join condition is going to be in index cache, and the remaining columns would be there in data cache. So, and we have used an SQL override for source. So if we see the SQL query which got formed, so again, target table, we made sure only update is checked. So we are seeing only update statement getting generated. And since we have the primary key enabled on employee ID, we see the where clause is generating corresponding to employee ID. And then if we see source qualifier, it was since we have overridden, though the source qualifier definition is from employees, since we have overridden the name of the table at the session level, it is trying to retrieve the data from employee. So we can see how many rows got updated. Here it is saying updated rows requested are 108 and applied are 108. Let's go to the database and see if we have the data for department ID updated for all the employee IDs. Yeah, there we go. We can see the department ID got updated for this employees again. So now we are going to see another set of things. What I am going to say is, I am updating everything to null. We are going to see about lookup filter. As I was saying previously, that we can restrict the number of records, as in, let's suppose I don't want the lookup cache to be built for 100 to 150 employee IDs, or maybe I'll go with 100 to 170 employee IDs. We can restrict that. So the point is, when the lookup cache is built, the requirement is cache should be built only from 171. So ideally, after running the same mapping, since the cache is built only from 171, department ID should be populated only after 171 employee ID. So how to restrict the cache what we are building? So that is done in the lookup transformation properties. Here we have source filter. So source filter, so here we can actually restrict the employee ID. Employee ID, we can say employee ID greater than or equal to 171. We can choose the column name. So don't go by the columns whichever are displayed here. We can pick any column whichever is available. So what exactly I meant is, don't go by the thing that, okay, we have two columns, employee ID and department ID. So if at all, if I want to filter it on some higher date, can I apply? Yeah, obviously we can apply any column, because we are going to see. So like some time back, I have shown the lookup query order by here when the cache is built. So this would include the where clause. So irrespective of the columns in the select list, since it is going to actually connect to the database, fire the query on the database and retrieve the data before it is performing the building the lookup cache. So it is always we can perform a filter irrespective of the column, whether it is present in the lookup properties or lookup ports or not. Just a minute. So yeah, there we go. So we are filtering all the employee IDs whichever are less than 170. So intention is the cache should not be built for those 170 as in employee IDs whichever are less than 170. We have saved the data. Let me refresh the lookup session. So if there are any session changes in the Informatica mapping, it is recommended to come here, right click, refresh mapping, and then validate the mapping also. That is when the workflow is going to detect the changes. Once we validate, we have to save the workflow. Now I am triggering the workflow again. Yeah, perfect. Now let us see the query which is fired by the lookup before building the cache. There we go. It is trying to retrieve the data for corresponding to employee HR.employees table. And then columns are department ID and employee ID, where employee ID is greater than equals to 171. So this is something which we have defined in the lookup source qualifier filter. So ideally, in real-time situation, we can come across some massive tables. If we don't restrict the filter, it is not necessary to build the cache for the complete data if it is not useful. So let's suppose we are trying to uh, uh, best example is some orders, sales order data in SAP. We have some in SAP or anything, we have some sales order data, and in certain organization, the sales orders are valid only for that particular month, or maybe shipping orders. So it is not relevant to cache anything which is beyond that month. But ideally, the sales order, purchase order, or shipping orders might have large amounts of volumes. So unnecessarily, it is unnecessary if we are not going to use. What is the point of caching it? Because ultimately, in order to build cache, it is going to consume some time. Here, since the reference data is not having huge volume, we are not seeing the difference. However, if we are trying to cache millions of data, it is going to take certain amount of time to build the lookup cache. So now the expectation, like we were discussing some time back, it should not update the department IDs for those employee IDs whichever are less than 171 in employee table. Whichever are less than 171. Because we did not build the cache. So let's see. Let me sort it by employee ID. Don't go by this. Okay, here department ID 60, it is updated, which means because the employee ID is 170 or 297, it is greater than 171. So if we see, okay, we'll go here. I will stop where my department ID is populated. We'll see if it is 171 or not. Yeah, there you go. It is 171. So that is how actually we can restrict the lookup cache. So now we are going to see in another column. So right now we have seen on filter on employee ID. So let's suppose what I am actually trying to tell you is, so let's try to restrict the filter based on date, like we discussed some time back regarding the filter on some date. So what I am going to do is, okay, I want to filter the we want to build the cache for only 2008 data corresponding to higher date. So what we can basically do is come to designer, go to lookup transformation, properties tab. Here, just replace the column name to higher date. And then we can say 2char hire date comma yy. To number, I'm changing it to number. These are specific to database. Since my database is Oracle, I am using 2char and 2number. If it is SQL Server, we need to use cast function or convert to change the types. 2char, 2number will not work in SQL Server. Greater than 2018. So using 2char, I am trying to retrieve the year part and I am converting that year and saying, okay, if my year is greater than or equal to 2018, that's when we want to cache the lookup as in cache such data. So as in now look the lookup is modified. So it is always recommended to refresh. What if you don't refresh? It is going to pick the previous configurations only. I'm running the mapping. Okay, before that, let me try to update the data set department ID to null. Commit it, then execute it so that we can see the real difference. Yeah. So first we'll understand how the lookup cache is built. I'll go with sorted. Yeah, if you see here, again the where clause. Frankly speaking, this hire date is not part of select statement. Even it is not part in the lookup ports also, lookup transformation ports. But that is not what required. Ultimately, it is going to fire on database. So no matter what column we are specifying in the source filter, the only primary prerequisite is it should be present in database or it should be something which can be executable. So sometimes we may use some dummy things, dual sort of a thing. Those all are also kind of possible. If something which can be kind of executable on the database, the same thing we can update accordingly in the lookup transformation. So let's see now what data exists in employee table. We will try to sort the hire date and see the corresponding data. Hire date, yeah, there you go. 2001, we did not cache anything before 2018, so everything is null. Yeah, so where we have 2018, okay, 2018 we specified, so only 2019 got updated with department ID. So let's try to change it to 2008 to see at least these entries gets updated. We have got a change. We need to refresh here to get the changes reflected in the session configurations. Restart the task. Now the expectation is, let's see. All the 2008 data also should get updated. Hire date having the year 2008 also should be updated with department ID. Okay, this is still, yeah, there you. As we say, we wanted only the lookup for 2008 or above. So that's how it built. In other words, we can even say like this. So in case certain situations, it is not possible with a lookup source filter, maybe we might need to join multiple tables. In that case, so we can even go for the lookup SQL override. So whatever statement is generated here with where clause, I am not bothered about order by, it is Informatica overhead. I am not going to specify. We are going to provide the SQL query. So employee ID is first in the ports, employee ID, department ID. Here we are saying, okay, retrieve me data from employees table, hr.employees, where the year is greater than 2008. The same thing when we had a filter. So either we can retrieve using a source filter when it is simple where clause, when it is complicated, if it involves a join on another table or the kind of cache what we want to look up is complicated to simply specify filter, we can even form a query which can basically retrieve the corresponding data which can be cached. So that is what we are trying to do. So that is using SQL override. Yeah. So now what we are going to do is we have to refresh the session since it got modified. We can see the changes also if you want. Click on lookup. Here we are going to see the same thing, whatever we have updated. I will save this. Before even doing anything, let me try to update it again. Because ultimately we do it at a source qualifier, as in lookup source qualifier override level or source filter. Since the query is kind of same, it should return me the same thing, same result. I'm trying to run the session. Okay, it failed. Let me try to understand why. It says invalid override. Okay. Let me go to transformation. So let us do one thing. Let us generate the SQL. And then we will apply the where clause. Yeah. Now it got succeeded. So if we see the data, we should have got the same data updated. Whatever is updated when we were using the source filter, the same data, because we are restricting at the source qualifier override level also. So we can see the year is 2019, so this got updated. Otherwise, where if we scroll down, only we should see the data whichever got updated should be only 2018 or beyond that. So let's dig furthermore on the lookup properties. So we can restrict the cache, whatever is building using lookups source filter or also using an SQL override. Another thing is we have something like, what is this? So lookup is nothing but a reference data. So now in the reference data, when we are looking it might have multiple values. So if it has a single value, well and good. The scenarios are, it may not find any data. If it does not find any data, it will be returning null, which is fine. If it finds only single value, still fine, because it is going to return only that value. What if it is finding multiple matches? For the join condition, it gets an ambiguity. It will not know what to return. Since this is configured to be static cache, it can return only one. It is passive. It is passive, not only static, it is passive, which means it can return only one record. So by default, use any value will be there. So on multiple matches, it can pick any of the value. So however, we have something called use first value and use last value. Use first value will return the first occurrence. Use last value will return last occurrence on multiple matches, where this is going to help. When we are having a match, something like SCD2, it is always recommended to go with use last value, because whatever is the last entry, latest entry, it is going to reside at the bottom. It is whatever is on the top, it is an inactive record. In case of SCD2 implementation, we are going to store history. So we might have a record valid till January 2020, which may, so in February 2020, we might have another record valid. So like that, till, as in September, the record whichever is active will be at the last, it cannot be in the beginning. So that's where use last value as a meaningful thing, because it is an active record. It is not good to retrieve something which is inactive unless we don't have any data. So that thing can be restricted, as in we can filter, making that okay, wherever my record indicator, current record indicator is Y, we can use that to filter out, to make sure that we are not looking upon inactive records. But still, if we have multiple matches, that is one scenario where we can prefer with first value or last value. If it is not going to harm or make any difference between either of any of the values, so we can always go with use any of the value. So this is what the property means, lookup policy on multiple mismatch or multiple match rather. So let's see another property. In this case, we are least bothered, because we are anyways having a primary key, which means we on employee ID, which means we will not be having any duplicates. So there is something called lookup caching enabled. What is it going to do? If I uncheck this, by default, it will be checked. So lookup caching enabled, we were seeing that the cache is built even before session is executed. Session executed, I mean to say, when the data is retrieved, before even data is retrieved from the source, the lookup cache is built. So what exactly I meant is, started loading session, this is where our source qualifier query got triggered. Even before this is triggered, we have got the lookup cache built. So if we don't want lookup cache to be built at the initialization phase, we can restrict by unchecking the lookup SQL override, unchecking that cache enabled. So this is going to make sure that cache is not built. Okay, what if cache is not built? How it is going to manage? So for every record in the source, it is going to query on the database and retrieve the record. I'll show you what is going to happen. So this time we will not see any lookup cache thing, because we disabled cache. Start task. It is running. We will not see much of the difference because the volume is kind of low, 108 records. But here, if we see, we don't see any lookup cache here. What was it internally happening? For every record, see, index cache would be 0 rows, data cache would be 0 rows because there is no cache. For every record, non-cache lookup. So for every record, it is trying to hit the database for one. So it executed 108 times. When we don't know, as in the best example I can think of is, let's suppose we can't filter down the records, but the number of records whatever we are going to look up are very less, 1 or 2 records. In that case, it is okay to go with non-cached lookup, because at max database is already indexed, or is might be having all the partitions or um, indexing thing done. So obviously the lookup condition whatever we are using, if it is indexed properly, it is going to retrieve in lesser amount of time. So rather than caching millions of data when we actually need only 2 records, we can go with non-cached lookup. So that was the difference between active cached and uncached lookup. So let us see the active transformation. How to, so by default lookup is passive, but we can make sure that we can turn that to be an active transformation also. As in when like we are seeing one property lookup on multiple match, it is going to return only one value. What to configure, like how we can retrieve all the records. So we have an example for that. So for that, before that, let me try to disable the primary key. We are going to insert the records, because since it is not like we did not enable primary key, I'm disabling, clipping the primary key here. No wonder it doesn't make any difference, because it is not at a database level. Even if we have primary key, it might not have any impact. So I'm flipping back to primary key. So before that, let me try to delete the data, whatever we have, because or let it be, I will load the same data. What exactly I can do is, we will look up on the same table and then kind of retrieve 2 values sort of a thing. Okay. What I will do is, let me create, yeah, that is best way. Let me create a department table in this table ept as select start picture. So in the department table, I am going to specify, okay, multiple rows. Let me try to get the menu. HR's user as departments. So from departments, I'm trying to retrieve the data, and then I want to store in DEPT table. Okay, I think it is already there. Let me try to drop the table and then perfect. I okay compilation. Let me see. Yeah, we have got data. So let me pick the less repeated columns, whatever is least repeated. Probably 10. 10 is repeated only once. Let me duplicate that record. So in my source for 10 only one record is there, employee ID 200. Let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do is in the department table for 10 I'm going to duplicate the data. This is not a valid use case, but then I want, in order to uh, demonstrate active lookup as in to return both the records, we are actually duplicating the data. Since rest all are having multiple records, it may not be very easy to see the difference. Since 10 is present only for one record, I am kind of making it 2. Maybe what I'll do is administration underscore duplicate. So when we are going to look up on 10, department ID 10, we should get 2 entries. So ideally, when we are loading the data into employee table, we should get 2 records in the target. So before that, let me try to delete the data also. Come on. Delete employee. All the records got deleted. I have committed. So let's do small changes. How to make it to a, so this will be an employees table from HR schema. So from HR schema I am retrieving data. So instead of full name, wherever it is full name, okay, we have got full name here. I am going to populate the department name we are going to populate here based on the lookup. So ideally we have got 108 records, but then since we have got one duplicate entry, one entry for department 10, since we have duplicate entries in department table, and then lookup is actually returning 2 entries. So ideally we are going to retrieve 109 records. So that is what happens. So we will see here active thing. So we are building a lookup. Lookup will be on department. It is not there. I am going to retrieve relational table. It's not there in test user. It is in PWC. Not even in PWC, but in PWC user has access, DBA access, so it is able to kind of search everything. So let me, okay. Basically, it is department from test user itself. Because we duplicated in test user. So yeah, it is DEPT from test only. The source would be HR.employees because we did not have any data. We deleted all the data in employee. HR.employees is the source. So based on department ID, we are going to look up and then populate department name in full name field of employees table. So here we are going to do some other tweaks. So manager ID and location ID are not required. We are not using those. So I'm deleting them in the, okay, one more thing I missed actually. So in order to make it active, so the most important thing. So You got it imported now. Return all values on multiple match. This is what needed. Import from relational DEBT. Make sure that checkbox is checked, otherwise it's not going to make any difference. If we want to retrieve all the records, we should have that checkbox checked. So now we will see. Now we will see few properties. Use all values. Last time it was saying use any value, because on mismatch, since it is a passive transformation, it is going to use only one. Here now it is an active transformation. So it is kind of retrieving everything. So now let's see the department ID, and then I'll try to use department name. It says active transformation. We can't do anything. So one way is use a joiner, or other way is bring everything to lookup. Bring all the ports to lookup. This anyways will not build any caches, so should be fine. We cannot skip the transformation. If we skip the transformation, obviously it will kind of have issue. But as long as it is going through same transformation, because this is a transformation where lines are kind of, it is active transformation. So the outgoing lines are more. So the lines which are number of records coming from source qualifier are different from number of records coming out from lookup. So ultimately it requires a joiner before we kind of have all the fields from two different transformation. So that's why in rather than having a joiner, I felt of using those fields directly in the lookup transformation. So these fields we don't want cache. So I'm deleting them. The remaining we need a lookup on department ID. Perfect. So we will see the all values again. So that is what going to drive. So the expectation is 108 records in source has to get converted into 109 here, and then load 109 records. We'll do some small changes after refreshing the mapping in the session. So the properties tab, now it is all inserts. I am changing it to insert. We should check the insert option enabled because we are loading the data. Target is test. Lookup is also a test. Lookup connection is test. Department table is there in test. Here it is not test, it is employees from HR schema. Table name is employees only. So since the table name is same, we need not specify anything. But the owner name is HR, so I am specifying HR. So let's save this. Let's run and see whether it is loading 109 records or not. Perfect. It read 108 records, but then loaded 109. Why that one extra record? Because lookup is active. When the lookup returned one additional record, because 10 is having multiple records. 10 is having two entries. So now when we see department table, okay, we are having two records for 10. So ultimately corresponding to the employee, which is whoever is mapped to department 10 is going to have two entries, and he or she is going to have two different values for full name. One is administration and another one is administration and do. So in this case, everything will be same. Only thing is the lookup returned two different values. So all the values we got that into target. So this is how we can make sure a lookup transformation to behave as an active transformation.